Hello and welcome to another Warhammer Wednesday. Hope you enjoyed the last video. Next week will be the continuation of the Reaver Battle Titan journey, whereby you'll see a lot more pieces painted. Magnets are involved. It's going to be great. But for this video, I've gone and got myself an Adeptus Astartes Space Marine Assault Squad. Which is it, Games Workshop? Which is it? Are you Adeptus or are you Space Marine? I couldn't care if they just swapped the description to Adeptus Astartes. I think Astartes is a heck of a lot better than Astra Militarium. This is the Assault Squad. I don't know why they've decided to do this. Probably because it's coming. The other Assault Squad was coming to the end of its life cycle. If I can remember correctly, that came out in 2008. I might have done a unboxing review. I can't really remember. But either way, it's a similar time of the old Devastator Squad, and I said the Devastator Squad was very good value for money for £21.50 at the time. Again, the old Assault Squad was quite a good value for money. I think this comes in at the same price. I could be wrong. £25. That's how much I paid for this anyway. But it's got bigger bases. It's got bases with scenery. Are there any other reasons not to upgrade to this box? Well, I'll find them if there are. The only thing that's really changed is the combat shield has gotten smaller. They look like twins because they're both running, but they're kind of like if that was a mirror. Yeah, that's all right. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's cool. He's got a bigger chainsword, like a Reaper chainsword. I think it's a Reaper chainsword, double-handed. You know, I think one of the Blood Angels characters has got it. My army's Blood Angels, should really remember. What's it? Astaroth the Grim. I know that he's got a Reaper chainsword, and I know that like the Zealots or whoever in the Inquisitor army or Grey Knights army, well, not Grey Knights anymore, but the Demon Hunters army, I think they had like Eviscerator chainswords or something like. Either way, it's a double-handed chainsword, and it's just looks a bit more meatier. But apart from that, look, big ass chainsword. The other four look identical, except for the poses slightly. I mean, the poses weren't that bad on the old box set, and the little bits of scenery. Anyway, I'm probably boring you already. So when I think of assault, I think of Spartans and Sparta. So I thought I'd use the Spartan knife. Oh dear. So I'm just going to do an unboxing review of this set. Let's see what crack I've got on here. It's relatively simple. You've got the new smaller Ultramarines only. Oh, what a surprise! Ultramarines only. They're getting all the love, aren't they? You might as well just buy Ultramarine box sets now. There. So you've got the instruction book. You can make them without jump packs. The jump packs haven't really changed, I don't think. It wouldn't surprise me if they've got loads and loads of boxes of Assault Marines back at HQ and they've just melted them down and then recast them to sell them on to you. But I think they're a similar price anyway, so it's not really like you're getting any more out of you. Again, the rules, but take item from the melee list. Where's the melee list? How am I meant to build an army with this? It's useful if you've got like a one-in-a-kind kind of like unit. Like obviously I've got a Reaver Titan and I didn't get the rules for a Reaver Titan when I bought it, and that's like silly money. I had to obviously get an Apocalypse book to get the rules. A lot of the time the rules change anyway. It's like a Warlord Titan. You're going to have to buy that £75 book to get the rules. I think it's useful if there's like one-off models, like a lot of the Forge World models, but they have them on PDF. So if you're willing to do this, GW, put this as PDF on your site as well. I'm not saying put the codex with the melee weapons or anything like that. If you're willing to do this, put it on your website too, because if this is just to get a little bit of a taster of how good a unit is, or what they can kind of, well, not even what they can kind of do, but kind of like their background rules as like a little tidbit to encourage people to get the codex, do that on your website. I can't see any difference in doing that. But oh well. There you go. That's your instructions. You've got the bigger bases again. So 5. Don't need to say anything more about them. And this one is only 2 sprues. So for £3 more, for £28, you can get a Devastator squad that has 3 full jam-pack sprues of 12 heavy weapons. 12. £3 less will only get you 2 sprues. Albeit they are, you know, very close sprues, but I think this isn't a very good value for money at all for 5 models. I was hoping for another sprue with 5 different types of jump packs, like 30k versions or just different variants. I was hoping for different armour plates and things for different chapters, maybe Blood Angels, maybe Salamanders, you know, the most popular armies, let's just say that. Maybe different leg options, or even enough to make 10 Assault Marines. But £25 for 2 sprues is, you know, when you think that sprue is £12.50 for that sprue, it's, I don't know, it's a bit sneaky. I think the last, to give them credit though, I think the last Assault Marine box set was 2 sprues also. But anyway, let's have a look at what you get. So you get this big double-handed chainsword. You get a power fist with its hand opening. I haven't really seen one of them before. Get a lightning claw, power sword, power axe, a nice piece of armour with a front scroll on, grav pistol, pretty standard shoulder pads. Nothing new there has changed there, and nothing new has really changed on the. You get a different like open face, you know, head. But the helmets look identical, really. Yeah, there's no real new helmets there. Legs, they might be in various poses, but they're split up now. Chest pieces, I don't think you're getting anything new there. That's the little combat shield. I much prefer the other one that had a pistol on it as well. So that is a bit of a letdown. All you're really getting is the grav pistol, open-handed power fist, a smaller combat shield and a double-handed chainsword, so that's a bit of a letdown. This will probably be equally a letdown. However, this does have the little pieces of scenery on, which do look quite cool, and I think that you could easily put these on Sanguinary Guard or your veteran Vanguard Assault Marine squad. So my best advice is to get Vanguard squad and this squad, and then you can put these on your Vanguard or on your Stern Guard, or, you know, like walking down the steps or something, or on the grill, or even scouts. I mean, that'd be quite a good little ruin to have a scout with some grass around. That's what I'm thinking anyway. I look at what I'm given. Not given. I look at what I purchase and I have, and I try and find the good points in it. But yeah, this sprue, these jump packs are exactly the same. I can't see any difference there whatsoever, which is a real letdown. Pistols are exactly the same. Chainswords are exactly the same. Flamers, the helmets. The only thing that you're getting in this box set really is those 5 base scenery things. You're not even getting a grav gun or a melter gun. All you're getting is flamers, 2 flamers, a couple of 3 plasma pistols, 3 bolt pistols, one grav pistol, some chain swords that aren't that remarkable. You're getting all this standard stuff that you used to be able to get, all that standard stuff, some different legs, some power packs that are alright, but I think a couple of them have been done before. Shoulder pauldrons are the same. You're just getting a different combat shield, a Reaper chainsword, I suppose, and the scenery pieces. So I'm not really a big fan of this one already. I have to say, I think you'd be better off spending your money on the Vanguard squad, even though you don't get these scenery scenery editions, because the Vanguard squad I think is the same price, so I don't know why you'd be buying this. But there you go. Let's see how they unfold when I build 5 of them, and see if that's changed my mind. Who knows? So join me in part 2 when you'll see them built. And welcome to part 2. Completely finished making all of the Space Marine Assault Squad. I don't really play a lot of competitive lists. I mainly go for making models that look good, or what I think look good anyway. There's only one model that I'm a bit unsure of that I've made in this little squad, but I'll just go through them anyway. So starting with the Sergeant, and this is the aforementioned model I'm a bit unsure about with the pose. Maybe it's because of his base, maybe because of I've opted for a Thunderhammer, don't know why, but either way, this is the Sergeant. I've equipped him with a grav pistol, combat shield and a Thunderhammer. I know a lot of you will be saying, well, why have you given him a combat shield? It's only a 6+ invulnerable save, but my theory behind this is hopefully the grav pistol will hit. It being concussive will reduce the enemy's initiative down to 1, and I can hit at the same time. That's the kind of whole point of that anyway. And then if I do get any hits, at least it gives me a 1 in 6 chance of bouncing them back or not even taking them. So there's a little bit of extra survivability. What's interesting to note is I've put grenades on 2 of the Space Marines, and I've got 2 grenades left. So you can't even put grenades on all 5 if you wanted to, which is a bit odd. But there you go. Not really much has changed. Obviously there's a grav pistol in it. The combat shield is smaller. I don't know whether that helmet's new, but I'm sure I've seen it on another box set before. So, but obviously the bases are new. So that's the Sergeant. I'll go from right to left. This is just a normal Assault Marine. This is quite a cool pose. I don't know how I pulled this one off, but yeah, I quite like that, because he's kind of like thrusting around the side of a building and then flaming through the windows, or that's how I imagined this kind of model to be. He might be swooping around a big monstrous creature, or I don't know, but I'm quite a big fan of this pose, and like the base as well. I've got another flamer here. He looks like he's just hop skipping along and then unleashing a load of Promethium on someone. Yeah, it's quite a good pose too. I like the steps in this one too. Like he's going down the steps, gingerly going down the steps, but firing off the flamer as he's going down a winding step or something like that. The Eviscerator model, big fan. I'm really super glad that I put the spiky pauldron on his left shoulder now rather than on the right, because it just, yeah, I mean he's got his left shoulder first. It's a decent weapon. This double-handed chainsword. It's almost as tall as him. It's huge. I like the base as well. Looks like he might hit his foot on the end there, but there we go. And then this one is just your standard, arm out shooting with the right hand. So yeah, there you go. So he's just, I like the helmet on this one as well. It's pretty decent. It's just like giving them that side look and then blasting them away. Chainsword's quite a good pose on this one too. So he's almost like he's thrusting past, but he's about to shoot, or he's just about to stop as he's shooting. So yeah, they're the 5 new Assault Marines. I'll just zoom out a little bit and show you all the spare parts that you get. Here they are. It's one of my favourite parts of the video, really. Don't get many spare parts in this. Again, it suffers from the loss of legs kind of syndrome. I mean, if you can buy legs second hand from eBay or wherever, then you are always in a bit of luck. You haven't got many heads. You've got 2 helmeted heads, and you've just got 2 normal heads without helmets. But you've got, what's worth mentioning is 5 complete chest plates and their backs. That's quite a nice one. That could go on a captain or something. I like that one. And the power packs are very similar to all the other models, except for this one. I don't think I've seen this one before. This is reminiscent of an older version of Space Marine, one of the old Space Marines that you got back, I don't know, almost 20 years ago now, with the ridges and then the actual cord pipes and the vent at the back too. Quite an old school power pack, so I think this is a little cheeky preview of the Horus Heresy models. I don't know, maybe I'm just clutching at straws here, but that's very, very similar. If you look at the Horus Heresy models, if you've got any yourself, that's quite close to those Mark of Armours. You got 4 bolt pistols spare. You got a few purity seals. Only a couple of grenades, as mentioned. You only get a couple more shoulder pads extra. Close combat weapons. You get a nice power sword that's like a gladius. I don't think it's a normal length of sword. I might be wrong, but it looks a little bit stubby to me. But the power fist is quite good. All the fingers are open. That's aching for some detail, that one. And you got a nice lightning claw. Again, that's very decent. You get 3 plasma pistols, in case you were wondering. Loadout for a 5-man squad is you can take either 2 flamers or 2 plasma pistols, and for every 5 models in the squad you can take an eviscerator. I think it's 25 points. A lot of people will be a bit hurt about that because it's a lot of points to invest in a model, and then you can have your sergeant with whatever. So you can really spend a lot of points in just a 5-man squad and really bump them up. And because they're quite fast moving around the board, they're going to be a target, which means that your bigger guns might be able to target what they need to target without being harassed. So these could be a bit of cannon fodder, really. I'm going to go into a tactics selection of videos in the not too distant future, going through every squad and their tactics and things like that. A little bit of a mix of like a codex review and the squads I talk about in the codex, and a little bit of Wargamer Fritz, and Gamza. It's a little bit of that kind of thing that I'm going for in these tactics videos that'll be coming out in the next few weeks. So I hope you look forward to them. I hope you find them useful, and they will be with painted models. Excellent. Chainswords, you get, there's 4 there extra. Obviously I've used 1, so you could have all 5 of them with chainswords, and likewise you could have all 5 of them with chainswords and bolt pistols, but it just seems a bit of a crying shame not to use the new bits in the box. I can't remember you ever getting flamers in the box, so that's pretty awesome. So in summary, is this box set worth it? It's a tricky one. It is a tricky one. I'd like to say no, because if this was the only kind of Assault Marine box out there, then yeah, it's worth it. But because you've got that Vanguard squad box set, which is the same price, you get chainswords in it. So don't just think you get, your Thunderhammers and your power swords and things. You do get chainswords and bolt pistols. So for the same amount of money, if you haven't got either and you can only afford 1, I would personally go for the Vanguard box set, because it's the same price and you get everything in there to have them as Assault Marines. And if you're really on a tight budget, you could always just proxy them and say, they're Assault Marines, or likewise they're Vanguard. It really is up to you. I don't think you get a huge amount of value for money. I don't think there are a lot of options in this box set. Yes, you've got power packs in there and you've got a lot of chest pieces and things, but you don't have an awful lot of different power weapons or assault weapons or anything like that. In this box set, it's a classic example of GW giving you, just what you need in the box set to make the models, with a couple of extra options in terms of special weapons. Whereas the Devastator box set for £3 more has got so many more heavy weapons that I can just buy another box set and use. I'm not really in that position of buying another box set and using the parts in the Assault Marines, because they're not specific enough. Whereas the Devastators, the heavy weapons are. So it's really up to you. That's the view I'm looking at it from in terms of value. I think the Devastator Squad box set gives you so much more value if you buy it with another box set. This doesn't. This is, you bought the Assault Marine Squad, and that's what it is. You can't really do an awful lot more with the extra pieces that you're provided with. Overall, it is a good box set. It's not incredible. Did it really need revising though? That is the big question. I suppose you could say it did, because it's been 7 years, but I did like the larger combat shield. I know a lot of people would say, well, they released the previous Assault Marine box set with the larger combat shield after the Command Squad, and the Command Squad had a combat shield that was the same size as this one. So why in the Assault Marine squad did they have a large combat shield? I don't know, because it looked cooler. There you go. That's my take on it. It doesn't give you as much value as the Devastator squad. I just wanted to get that point across. So next week I shall continue with the Reaver Titan Journey update. It's got magnets. It's looking very good. It's not quite finished. I've got a couple more episodes on that, but I hope you join me for that one. And then I've got another kind of box set video coming out not long after either. So I hope you're enjoying these videos. I hope you appreciate that I've got back into the hobby after a bit of a hiatus. Thanks ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor Protects.